Tye's comments. So I have mixed feelings, but I'll start here. I do not believe Tye was referring to the church that God designed when he said church was whack. I believe he was talking about the whack church that man has built and is building, which really isn't the church at all. This is the church that prioritizes lights over salvation. This is the church that prioritizes branding over substance. This is the church that where the goal is to go viral, not salvation. And so in that case, the institution of church that man has created absolutely is whack. It's not, honestly, it's for a lot of churches, it's not even about God anymore. It's about being famous. It's about making a lot of money. And listen, making money, being famous, going viral, lights, branding, none of these things are bad until they become the goal, until they become the priority. So once that happens, yes, the institution of church is absolutely whack. The other thing I want to address too is Pastor Mike's response. And listen, let me say this. Both of these guys are influences for me. Tye as a songwriter influences me major. Seeing him sing Build Your Home was just like a dream come true for me. Pastor Mike, somebody who I look up to as a speaker. So these guys, they both mean a lot to me. But Pastor Mike made a comment, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was kind of saying like, you know, you're saying the church is whack, but this is the church that kind of helps you get where you are. I would almost kind of caution about taking that kind of mindset when it comes to the elevation of ministers and pastors and worship leaders and all that stuff, because I believe, this is what I believe. I believe with all my heart that anybody who's in a high level of influence, God gets the credit for that, right? Because there are people who are just as talented as Tye. There are people who probably love God just as much as Tye does. There are people who would probably work just as hard as Tye worked. The difference is there is something that God called Tye Tribbet to do. There was something that he called him to do and nobody else. And he called him to it, not just for Tye to be famous, but he called him to it because there were people who needed it, right? And so people didn't elevate Tye. God elevated him so that he could influence, or so that he could minister to all the people that God would draw to him, to all the people who would need the anointing that he carries. So I would have a little bit of trouble with giving the institution of church or people the credit for something God ordained, right? And so that's my 2 cents, man. Some of you might agree, some of you might not, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. All right. Love y'all. Peace.